Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. A couple of days ago, somebody sent me this and it's a front to a cabinet. I already did it and now he wants to know how I did it. Because this probably most likely was created on a CNC router because you can see this is all one piece, but you gotta, with a laser engraver, you would have to do it in like, this would be a back piece, this would be a front piece. So the picture's kind of askew, so it's not perfect. It's kind of hard to manage. So let's take an indexing line. Let me turn on my indexing lines. And I'm going to put that in P, put it in the center of the page. And you can see the picture is a little bit askew, so we can't really use that. But what I'm going to do first, and I'm going to take the photograph, I'm going to go to the transparency tool, and right down here, it's kind of deceiving because it's always hidden. But when you go over it, and I'm going to make the picture a little bit transparent, I can still see the image, but I can draw now and see my lines better. So I'm going to get my 3-point curve line and I'm going to start right. I'm only having to draw half of it. That'll make it more symmetrical. So I'm going to start right there. I'm going to go to about right there and I'm going to curve that line. And for the video, I'm not going to go too wild and try to get it perfectly. He can do that. And, you know, you've got to kind of use your imagination here, what it looks like. So I'm going to go there and then put a little, I forgot I had the 3-point curve line. Let me just delete that line. Deleted all the lines because they're connected. So I'm going to go ahead and just get the shape tool and bring that down. You know what? I'm going to delete that line. So I'm going to take my virtual, that deleted all the line. So instead of starting over, I can take this node, right click and break it apart. And then by doing that, when I get my virtual segment delete key, I have a new line or a shorter line. 3-point curve line again. I'm going to go straight down, click, but then I'm going to go here and I'm going to give a little bit of a curvature that'll give us this out part. Now I need to go across and I'm going to go past and I'm going to hold down the control button so it's perpendicular. I forgot I had the 3-point line. I'm going to get my 2-point line real quick. And I'm going to go from that node, holding down the control button. That way at least my drawing will be perfect. Now, I only have to draw half of it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that inner part and I'm going to get my 3-point curve line again. And I'm going to go from kind of about where that other line is. I can change that later. And these two, you know, since the picture is not perfect, this might be a little bit closer. And then go down here and give it a little bit of curve. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do this part. And I'm gonna put a little, matter of fact, I could probably do all the parts. But you don't want to go too far. You want to go to about halfway and then give it a little bit of a curve. And later on, we can smooth these curves out. And matter of fact, I did not connect to my node. You need to be on the node. I'm going to do that right there. And then I'm going to do the other inside part. And if I was doing it for real, I'd take a little bit more time and go back and critique it. You just want to watch that curve and make sure it's, now, when I did the other one, I actually put a circle in here and cut it out, but I really don't, I think this might be easier. So I'm going to get my 3-point curve line again, and I'm going to go down here, give a little bit of a curve. This is kind of a rounded corner. You don't want a straight corner. Matter of fact, I'm going to get my shape tool and move that over a little bit. Then I'm going to get my 3-point curve line and go like right here and give it a little bit of a turn. Now that's a little bit sharper than we want, but we can fix that later. I'm going to go right there and give it a little bit of turn. And see, this is rounded over, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. I messed that up a little bit. When you're using the 3-point curve line, it's pretty cool, but does it help you all the time? I really want that line kind of straight down. get the 3-point curve line again, go there, give a little bit of turn, because this is going to be two pieces. I'm going to go right here, give a little bit of turn. I'm going to go right here. Now this, I messed up that line I didn't get on the node. Now I want that same little curvature. So I'm going to go right, and you can see my line is turned. So I'm just going to turn it back and maybe put it up a little bit. This is probably a good part to do the 3-point curve line here. Just give it a little bit of a curve. And then go up here. See, if this is so much easier than if you had to, I'm gonna go ahead, let me zoom in here. Let me back up. So much easier because it's transparent. You can see your line a lot better. So I'm going to go across here, give a little bit of turn. I'm going to go over here, give it a little bit of a curve. I'm going to go up here, give a little bit of a curve. I'm going to go down here and make it a straight line. Now we need to do this part right here. Don't worry that your lines aren't meeting right now. We can make them meet in a second. That actually has a little bit of a curve too, but just a little bit. Go down here, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. Now I think I have it. Now I haven't done the inside part. So we're going to, you know, see, I'm on the edge, but on the photograph, it looks like it's sticking out. So that would be your one piece. Matter of fact, I'm going to scrap that and I'm going to do that later. Now, this thing is 9 inches. So I'm going to take my nudge factor and I'm going to set it to 11, and I'm going to move the photograph out of the way. That's what we have. Now I need to take a 2-point line. Make sure you get a 2-point line, because that'll be very beneficial when you, and I'm just going to hold down the control button and draw a straight line. Now I'm going to bring this over to about as far as I can without manipulating the line. I want all these lines to be past there. So I'm going to grab my shape tool, and I'm just going to, and if you're not really hurting the curve, just kind of try to stay on that same line. See, I can move it, and then if I'm off, I can just move it back to that line. I'm going to go ahead and intersect that. And, well, that kind of looks funny, but that'll work. And I'm a little bit, well, the picture is deceiving. So now what I can do, I need to go through here and kind of virtually segment, delete the lines that are over the line. And because my line is perpendicular, my other line should match when I bring it across. Let me zoom in. Virtual segment delete. And if you don't ever have any interest of ever doing anything like this, you please just stop watching. So I'm going to get rid of my line. So click on your line and hit delete. Now I'm going to take all this. I'm going to go ahead and group it together. Control G, Control D to duplicate it while holding down the control button. Get your 2-sided arrow and put it right there. So look what you've got. So now we're going to test it with the 3-point, with a Smart Fill tool. I am going to draw a rectangle in case it leaks. And what we're going to do, well, we use that blue. So I've got a leak. Somewhere there's a leak. And most likely it's where I joined it. Yep. See, I didn't quite get it good. And so I'm going to take this line. Well, if you remember, I grouped it together. So I've got to go and group it, ungroup it. That way the shape tool will work. I'm just going to go ahead and go past this time. It's what I probably should have done in the first time. Now I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and make these lines meet and cross them. And see, because that other one was grouped, now this one needs to be on. First, you got to select it. Object, group, and ungroup it. Grab your shape tool and just go past there. I don't like doing it this way because it's not going to be exactly perfect. But with all these lines, I don't know what else I can tell you to do. Now, I still got my rectangle, so I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and I'm going to fill that in and I'm going to nudge it over. I'm going to fill this in. I did not clean up the bottom. And you can see that really shouldn't have happened. It should have just come across. So I'm going to go ahead and do both these at one time. And don't worry about the excess lines like I did at first. I could have maybe left them. So now we're going to grab because wow. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. I want to fill that in. There we go. So there is your top piece that's going to be a different color. Now, because we have that, we're going to take the virtual segment delete key and delete this inside line. We got a little bitty line right there. When you're using a hairline, normally that doesn't affect it. So now I'm going to take a different color. Let's use blue. Still got my rectangle in case it leaks. It doesn't leak. I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to go to Object, Order, Backup Page, and that's what it's going to look like. Now, the other part of the scenario is, let me make sure I've got it all, was this part right here. It's kind of got a little, and these probably would match. So what we're going to do, so I've got a circle cut out. You know what, as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is get rid of this one. I'm just going to nudge it down. I'm going to bring this one over. I'm going to left click, right click, and I'm going to bring my photograph back in. These most likely are going to just, this would be, I'm not going to draw it maybe exactly like it was because it was created by a CNC machine. And now I'm going to get my 3-point curve line. And I'm going to go down here a little bit. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to go here. Now to do this circle, I quite possibly would, I love the 3-point curve line, but there is a little bit of a learning curve to make sure you're off of it. Now, I'm not perfect on this line, but I'm pretty good. I'm going to grab my shape tool and bring this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit not quite as round. I'm going to bring in a circle. I'm going to put it about right in the middle, and I'm going to hold down the Shift and the Control button. And I just want to be past those lines. And remember, we're just doing the other part. So I'm just going to go past the lines. Make sure you're past the line. And then I can delete this line. And I'm going to go, you don't have to, but I'm going to go and delete that line that's passed. And hope we don't have a leaker. That's a little bit unlevel there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my shape tool, and because I drew this all at one time, I can just bring that down. And it's a little bit of curve, but that looks good. And this is curved, but so let's hope it doesn't leak. I don't have my rectangle, and it didn't leak. So I'm going to move that over. I'm going to make a duplicate of it, and I'm going to move it over. See the other side, you can see how the picture is not perfect. So now I'm going to move my picture out of the way. I'm going to take away my lines, and I can do this right here because I'm not grabbing all the black line. And I'm going to move that back. I'm going to left click, right. I'm going to do it in red. And now I'm going to hit the plus key and mirror it the other way. And I'm going to take that corner and put it right there in that corner. So now what he needs to do, if he wants to do this, would be to cut that out, cut that out, cut that out, cut that out. That's his front piece. And then to get the back piece, we could do two things. We can grab the back piece and move it down and fill this in with a different color, just so you can kind of tell it. And then move it up, go up to object. So those are your two pieces to cut out. I don't really need to show this part, but I'm going to go back at the page. So that's what it would look like. In your artistic ability, maybe move that off a little bit up, maybe give this a little bit more curve. But other than that, I think that's how I would do it. And then just kind of look at the picture again, go back to the transparency tool, and you can put it right back to where it was. So you can kind of look to see if there's anything you're missing. That is pretty cool. I don't think I would ever cut anything like that out, but to each his own, and hope that helped him a little bit. And thank you for watching.